Once you win it, and you've got to go all the way to the end.
Lando into the final corner, his first win of the championship. Lando across the line to win in China.
Because you commit yourself to such a level where there is no compromise. You give everything you have.
The strategy paid off. He had one of the best hits I've ever seen on the medium tires. Nick Billtail wins the Monaco Grand Prix.
Deep in also the final chicane. Rude is trying to go for it on the inside. There's still both wheels of order. Banging wheels. Old School's gone round.
Oh my word!
And you need more than anything a very clear mind to understand exactly when is the moment to be aggressive, when is the moment to be calculated.
He spun. Brendan's spun.
Oh, wing image. Oh, Brendan's out.
He's out of race. Oh my God, he's out of race.
When you are under a lot of pressure, in a critical moment, in a championship or in a particular race, it's the one that can put together the combination between aggressivity and calculating things that will get the best result.
Going down from, or going down, I'd say, looking to prove their pace once again here to Lobby 2. Kumblai is an example, Hardy as well, as you mentioned. And yeah, we'll see how they fare around the track of Shanghai International. It's quite a difficult track, very technical. Especially through Sector 2, and there's a good few overtaking opportunities as well. If you look towards Turn 1, perhaps the hairpin of Turn 6, the end of the first sector, and in the last sector there's also a hairpin of the very, very long straight. I think it's about 1.2 kilometers, 1.3 kilometers. And yeah, we'll definitely see some overtaking as well, see some action out on track.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. Of course, guys that have picked these cars, it doesn't mean that's exactly what team they're going to be in. However, it could maybe give a bit of an indication as to what cars that they would like. Again, if this is what their divisions are going to remain, as I said, the main premise of these pre-season lobbies is just to see if people's paces, or if we've matched them up pretty much right to the T of their divisions. Of course, we're not going to get every single person right. So this is just, as I said, an estimate, and this is first of 2. So we will be finding out, of course, later on in this race, or even in the next race in pre-season race 2, if of course we have gotten them right. These are just sort of what we think it could be for this present moment. But now, of course, on to qualifying. I am on board with a fellow QVR member of yours, of Packer, because I believe he will be the first one to start a lap. And Verstappen, why not? Take us through it.
As they just come for the final corner and across the line to start the lap. Here around Shanghai International Circuit, down into turn 1, a very long turn, a very harsh on the left front tyre, and down into second gear for turn 2, into turn 3, a very slow corner, and the traction out of 3 and 4 here, double left is very difficult, onto the kink of turn 5, and you want to line this up as wide as possible for turn 6, difficult hairpin as well. Again, the traction, the vital part of that corner. And now down into the swooping section of 7 and 8. Down into 5th, maybe even 4th gear for some, as Packer does here, into turn 9. Very easy to lock up the front here. Packer does that nicely, avoids that. And the traction out of turn 10 is quite difficult for him, as you can see, as he runs wide. I think he's just about valid down towards turn number 11. Difficult chicane here into 12, as the Packer rides a lot of the curbs and doesn't seem to have the cleanest run. Now down towards 13, onto the very, very long straight. And they're going to be hitting speeds of around 325 kilometers an hour with the DRS open towards the braking zone, a brake around the 100 meter boards, and then all the way into second gear, third on the exit to get that traction, going down, a bit of a wobble on the exit for Packer, and now down towards the final corner. Very easy to hit that curve as Packer does there. Goes wide. I think he just about keeps it valid, but obviously not an ideal run. A 130.8 to start it off with. And
I think his quote-unquote teammate Dylan, I think, was also just behind him and unfortunately invalidated in his lap, so he might be going again as well. A few other guys, of course, out on laps as well. Nolan, I think, also just invalidated on his lap, so he's looking to go again as well. Just seeing who's next to maybe even cross the line. I think it was actually Old School. Division 3's champion in season 5. He goes almost a second faster than Packer. I'm sure Packer's obviously going to try and improve on that lap time. Division 2's champion of Larkin, actually behind Division 3's champion. So that makes that very, very interesting. I think there may be a little bit of a story arc on that one. Of course, Gary as well is another one that would be here, but unfortunately he's not shown up tonight. Arcolo putting it on pole so far with a 29.6. I'm expecting a few of these guys to maybe try and push for a 28. It'd be interesting, but I would maybe say the pole time, definitely a low 29, maybe a high 28 for tonight. I don't know if that's maybe what you'd also think, but yeah, as I said, especially with the caliber of these guys that are in this division, or this lobby, shall I say, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think it'll be going that quick. I've seen in lobby 1 that there's only one person that went into the 28, and who else? But NSX Montana did that. Yeah, that was as expected. So I think we'll look around the pole time of a 29.3, I want to say. And obviously, Arcolo is a good contender for this. He's always shown that he is very quick in qualifying, but just hasn't been able to finish it off in the races. We'll see how he fares this qualifying session.
No, he certainly will. So, I'm going to actually run on board with the new Ecos driver of O'Brock. He, as I said, is a new driver over to the League of Europe, and I'm quite intrigued to see how his pace is, because he's going on a set of the mediums for a first lap. And I want to see if this is actually quite competitive with a few of the soft guys runners, because Brett, I know, has just gone into P7 with a 30.5, Assassin just up ahead of him with a 30.4, and also Mr. QVR Kumblai with a 30.0 as well. So, I mean, I would expect these guys to go a little bit quicker than that, I'm not going to lie. I think the pole time in Division, or in Lobby 3, shall I say, was like a 29.6. I think it was from Commentalist or from Hyper. It was one of those two. But so I'm expecting a few of these times to improve. Of course, it is only just the beginning of the session now, as Brock comes around the final corner and up to the line. A 31.3 on a set of the mediums is not a bad time whatsoever. And I believe Killer Blue will be the next one across the line, as he's just made his way around the hairpin and coming up towards the final corner. Brit in the Mercedes around that final corner, keeps it nice and tight throughout that exit, and up to the line. A 30.1, sorry, for Killer, and into P5, splitting both Kuhn and Larkin.
Yeah, definitely a decent time. And just to mention O'Brock, he did a 3.13, obviously on mediums. I think the mediums are around a second, maybe a little bit over that, slower than the softs. So that will put him, let's say, around Larkin and Killer Blue, which is quite competitive to see. Especially with a few mistakes at the end of the lap, it seems, from him. I don't think anyone currently is on the lap as far as I can see. I think TTG Slash has just gone across the line to start one, however.
Yeah, he certainly has in this in the Russian Haskar, as I like to call it, making his way around the first turn, keeping it nice and tight towards turn number 1, coming out of turn 2, getting it nice and early, short shifting it up into third, just making sure that you get that nice traction coming out of there. And now coming up towards the end of the first sector, 23.7, and apparently that is purple in sector 1. So I'm quite intrigued. Slash, of course, was in Division 2 last season, didn't particularly put up too much of a performance on it, so I'm quite intrigued to see if on this game he may make a bit more of an improvement. I think in Season 4 he was more of a standout one as well in Division 2, but as I said, in Season 5 he didn't really make his mark like he did in Season 4, so maybe it's just at the beginning of the game is where Slash feels the most confident at, because at this moment it's looking pretty well for him, as Nolan has apparently been disqualified for facing the wrong way. Slash getting a little bit too much on the curb on the exit of, or on the exit coming up to the beginning of the long right-hander, and now coming up towards the DRS zone, of course one of the longest straights on this calendar. Is he going to be able to put up a competitive time and maybe knock down Arcolo from that top spot? Coming up towards the hairpin now, a little bit of a lock-up going in towards it, short shifting straight up into third, out of that hairpin. A decent exit coming out of there, and now out of the final corner is where you can all be thrown away. Takes it very conservative and slows right down for a 31.343. I think that would have been in the mid of the 30s, maybe around sort of where Assassin and even Brett were. I think just that end part of that lap was just a little bit scrappy from him.
Yeah, it did look like that. The last sector didn't look too amazing, and he may have decided, yeah, to just back off and not risk maybe a 7th or 8th place, which may not be too ideal around here. Rudy's just going to cross the line on a 130.4, just behind Assassin and ahead of Brett, I think. One of the Assassins is coming across the line. I think Kunblai and Cortez have just started the lap, so that won't be until a minute and a half from now, until they cross the line. Dylan seems to be on a quick one though, a 50.3 in purple sector, in sector 2, and now he's coming across 213 onto the straight, and this looks like a very quick time so far.
Yeah, I saw as well, he was purple in sector 1 as well, so the Dutchman looking to maybe try and make a bit of a statement in this lobby too. As I said, especially with a few guys that were in Division 1 last season, a few guys could potentially even be in Division 1, as Marcel getting disqualified from the session, so both AlphaTauris are getting disqualified. That's going to make that very, very interesting for them at the start of the race. Dylan taking that very nicely out of the final corner. Up to the line is a 29.4 for the Dutchman, straight on pole position so far by just over 2 tenths from the German of Arcolo, but I'm assuming, well, he is actually on another lap now, and he's 200ths down on his best time, so he may not make an improvement. I don't know, it might have been sector 1 where it was the strongest one for him. Sector 2 and sector 3 he can just make a bit of an improvement, but a few guys are coming out to finish their laps. TDB I thought was one of them, but it looks as if he has backed out. Rudy's just come into the pits, and I think it is Mr. QVR Kumblai who's actually gone straight into the pits, invalidating on his lap time, so he is not going to be making an improvement. It is going to be old school though, as in fact he is just properly starting a lap, as I think he also invalidated on his lap.
Assassin in the meantime does go into P4 just ahead of the same old school you just mentioned, and seems like he is finally finding the pace as well. was a Mercedes. I think that was Killer Blue. He's just starting a lap across the line. And Red Star is also just about starting. So we see a lot of guys just starting the second runs, and they'll be coming across the line very soon. I think Arcolo is the first one. Or the final corner, open up the DRS, and across the line he goes. It's 29.4, 400s behind Dylan.
Very, very close. I'm loving this. I'm already loving this just in qualifying. Very, very close between those top two, even the top three. Doom is, I think he improved on his lap time ever so slightly as well, and putting it up to 29.604. So these top three are just, well, it is, as I said, it's very, very close between those guys. Assassin and Old School, very close between the pair of them as well, as obviously Old School is now on a lap. 200s down in the second sector as well. So let's have a look and see what he does in that orange Papaya McLaren, as he's now opened up that DRS and coming up towards the final hairpin. Let's have a look and see if he breaks it at that 100 meter board. Breaks that very nicely, turns it in very, very nicely as well. A very nice run out of Old School so far, and it's looking like it could be an improved time, as in fact it's not. He goes straight into the pits.
Yeah, looking at his ERS values, I don't think he was meaning to finish that lap. It was under 20%, so he may have, I think he invalidated his first run on that set of tires, and then, yeah, just didn't want to finish that and get very worn tires for the start of the race. As Killer Blue has just improved to P4.
Very nice lap from the XL driver, as Brett, I thought he was going to be making his way around the final corner, but no, he's straight into the pit lane, almost hitting the outside wall. You don't want to be doing that, trust me. I think a certain teammate of mine a few seasons ago had done that. It wasn't fun. So, trust me, you don't want to be hitting that outside wall. Yeah, there's a few guys, I think, well, I think we're just going to be a bit of a lull period at the moment, as the majority of people are sitting in the pits. I'm just trying to see who's maybe out on like an outlap. Slash was one of them, but he's made his way straight back into the pits. TDB, I think
he's had a fuel.
Yeah, so he's making his way straight back into the pits as well. So yeah, as I said, a little bit of a lull period at the moment. Everybody just in the pits waiting to go out on their final runs probably within the next minute and a half. But anyone really sort of stand out to you so far in this lobby? I mean, I can definitely tell you now, I think Dylan's probably my standout one so far.
Yeah, he's definitely looking very rapid. I think he's only completed one proper run as well, so there might be still more in the tank for him. We'll have to see about that. Arcolo, very competitive as well, along with Jum. They're always very strong in the qualifyings. Further down, there's a couple guys that haven't set a lap time yet. Obviously, Hardy retires very early on the session. I think he crashed out in his first run, if I'm not mistaken. I have no clue what happened to Nolan and Marcel exactly. I think that it must have been at the final corner. I saw at least Nolan there. I don't know about Marcel. And to look out for as well are Slash and Obrock. As obviously Slash is one who backed off at the end of his lap and definitely has something in the tank there. Obrock on the mediums, who knows what he can do if he goes on to softs.
Yeah, I mean, even if he starts outside of the top 10, it's not going to be that bad for him. On a set of the mediums, even Slash, because I think Slash is looking like he may try and go for a medium run, but Division 3 champion is what I'm quite keen to look at how he's going to do in this as well, because he's up ahead of Larkin, Division 2 champion, and well, he's going to be the first one to get a lap done. I think on a final run, we're going to be seeing a lot of people maybe make their way out of the pits either around this time now, as I believe both of the Aston Martins of Kuhnblai and Cortez are making their way out of the pits as we speak. So Old School, you've done it in Division 3 last season. Let's see what he's going to do now in lobby number 2, as he makes his way around the final quarter, gets that DRS straight on, and we are now starting his final run. Makes his way up towards a long sweeping turn number 1. Try and keep it as maybe tight as you possibly can. Not too tight though, because you touch that curb, that can send you spinning, but does keep it nice and tight. Already back up into third gear, short shifting it back up into third now from the second gear, and keeping that nice and tight throughout turn number 3 and 4. Turn 5, Little King can touch that curb, but sometimes it can be best not to. 8 thousandths down on his personal best time. Now coming around that first hairpin and kept that very nicely through turn number 6. Now coming up to turn 7 and turn 8, again the long sweeping left and right. again, don't want to be touching those curves because they can absolutely send you into, as Jim Brent likes to say, the Shadow Realm. Now, coming around the double left-handers of turn 9 and turn 10, keeps it nice and tight through there, as in fact he's actually backed out of his time. I don't know if that was because he made a mistake or what, but I think he might try and gear up to go for another one.
It does look like that. I don't think it was the best lap of him, and he may think that he can do better. I'll have to see if he in fact can. I think TTG Slash is the next one on lap, and he is on the medium set of medium compound. So let's see what he can do. He'll be going for that P11, or maybe even higher if he can manage that, but it needs a very quick laps on mediums to that. The cutoff obviously being a 30.5 by breath. We'll see how he fares as he goes around turns 7 and 8. Keeps it basically pinned. This is looking very nice from TTG Slash. Then into turn 9, into third gear. Short shifting to 4th. On the exits, looks very stable. And now down towards the sector 2 split. Let's see where he is. He's on the 51.2, 6 tenths down. But obviously he backed up the lap. Last time out he went through. Now down into 13. Bit of difficulty getting on the throttle. Obviously the mediums won't have the same grip as softs have, and he's coming down towards the DRS, and a bit of time to look and relax and see and prepare for the braking zone here for turn 14 at 100 meter board. Very stable, a little bit of a lock up on the front right, goes slightly deep, but he gets a decent run. As I say that, he has a big snap of oversteer down towards the final corner. 5th gear, he's invalidated, unfortunately. Looking like such a good lap. In behind comes QVR Pack, and now as they come in quick succession. 5 seconds left of the session. The American goes across the line with a 29.5. It goes to P3.
Very good time from the American. Making a statement from last season as well. Keeping up that brilliant form of his. The other QVR member of Kuhnblei and Cortez, both also going to be the next ones across the line. Kuhnblei around the final corner, does not invalidate it and comes up towards the line. It's a 29.7 for him. What about the Portuguese of Cortez? Just behind him into P3, up ahead of his QVR compadre of Packer, and now a few more guys are making their way around the final corner. Old School being one of them, and puts it into P7 with a 29.721, goes up ahead of his season 3 teammate of Killer Blue, but I know that he is currently on a lap. Rudy as well around the final corner and has gone round and out of the session. I don't know if he was on an improvement or what, but he is now out, and he's been showing some impressive form in the social race in the even in like 5 laps and time trial, and unfortunately now it's not going to show for it. Arcolo across the line at 29.243. Dylan does not improve on his lap time. Doom has invalidated on his lap as well, so it's just up to a few other guys to see if they're going to maybe make an improvement on their times. I believe Brock is going to be the next one across the line on those set of mediums, goes up ahead of Slash, and I believe, was that who was that just came across the line? Was that XL Larkin? I think it was. Come up against the line and only improves up into P7.
Yeah, obviously he's not known for his squad as his teammate, Killer Blue, goes up to P3 as well, 5 thousandths off Dylan. Arcola looking impressive here. But yeah, well, I wouldn't say Larkin has never been the strongest in qualifying. He always has to do with his race pace, but he is with there, so he's not all too bad altogether. Yeah, overall, very close qualifying in the top 10 at least. Outside a few guys who may have not completed the laps they wanted to, or maybe wanted to go and start outside the top 10.
Yeah, so Arcolo, he's keeping up that qualifying pace of what he had from last season. Same with Doom. Doom, I think, qualified in, what, P5 or something like that, I think the Spaniard was in. So, a decent time for him, of course. Dylan, very good qualifying from him as well, as Killer as well, into that P3 position. Again, Killer's another one. When it comes to qualifying, I feel like his race pace does him justice rather than his qualifying. And only being 5 thousandths behind Dylan, I think that's going to make a massive difference for him. I feel like Killer Blue might end up getting a very, very good result for Lobby 2 tonight. But Arcolo, as I said, is the one that's put it on pole, with Dylan alongside him in P2, Killer Blue in 3rd, Cortez in 4th, Packer in 5th. TDB ends up improving on his lap and going into 6th, Doom in 7th, with Larkin in 8th, Kuhnblei in 9th. Old School rounding out that top 10, Assassin on P11, Brett in 12th, Rudy in 13th, Brock in 14th/15th, Hardy not getting a time on the board as I think he just rejoined. And then of course we've got Nolan and Marcel somehow both disqualifying from the session, but they will be starting at the very back of the pack. And well, this is going to provide for a very, very, very interesting race, especially up through lap 1, turn 1. I wonder if we're going to be seeing any heroics going on there.
Yeah, and I would also like to mention that I think Marcel is not currently in the lobby. I saw him joining leave a couple times.
Okay.
So it's quite unfortunate for him. Hardy just rejoined. I don't know if he'll be in time, but we'll have to see about that. Outside the top 10, we'll have to see. Mediums or hards are usually the way to go when you're not in the top 10. So expect to see those tires at the start.
Certainly will. But yeah, as I said, we're loading in now to the race. Guys just picking up their setups, picking up their the tire strategies, and we will get this one we'll get this one underway. Sorry, very, very shortly. Of course, running through the formation lap. And let's have a quick look as to what the guys outside the top 10 have gone on, because I'm assuming they wouldn't go on a set of the softs. And yeah, as expected, none of them on a set of the soft tyres. Assassin, Rudy, Hardy and Marcel all on a set of the mediums. Is Marcel actually in the lobby? Doesn't look as if he is, unfortunately for him. Nolan is though, so we may see him maybe moving up the pack ever so slightly. But the guys that are on a set of the hards of Brett, Brock, Slash and Nolan, yeah, it's sort of like an even split at the bottom half of the grid. So I'm quite intrigued to see how this is going to go. I'm going to ask it. You got any predictions?
Honestly, it's very tough to do so. I think Dylan could have a go at the win here. Killer Blue obviously is always very quick in the races as well, so I'm predicting him P2, and I could see someone like Obrock perhaps on the alternate strategy going up to P3.
Yeah, I definitely could see that as well. You went with 2XL, boys. I'm actually going to go and say that Cortez, from what I've seen from him as well, I feel like he could also be up there. It just depends, because I know what Dylan is like. He's either at the front or at the back. At the moment, he's at the front, but anything can happen in this race. I feel like Killer Blue as well. I feel like it's going to be Cortez and Killer Blue. I think you are right. If we're going for someone outside the top 10, I might actually fancy my chances of saying Rudy could be up there as well. I think that qualifying just did not do him justice. He's starting on a set of the mediums. He's going to be, of course, on a better strategy than the guys that are on a set of the softs, and same with Assassin. I think those two are definitely going to be ones that we will need to keep our eye on. The same with Brett, front runner on the hard tyres. I feel like this could be a very, very close call. Anything can happen in this race. Yeah, I think it's going to come down to a fight with Cortez and Killer Blue, in my opinion. But I suppose we'll wait and see after these 28 laps who will be the one that comes out on top, as we're just waiting for everyone to now line themselves up. I think we're just waiting for the ghost of Marcel, and we can get this race straight underway, and Arcola will of course be leading us from there.
Yeah, definitely. Take us through it.
And I
Waiting
really
for
hope
the 5. Yeah, I hope we don't get any glitches.
Let's have a quick look. I feel like it might be glitched.
I'm gonna have a look. Usually there is like one person that is then not loading in properly. If we figure out who that is, then we may have something going on.
According to Dylan, it's both Mark and Hardy,
Yeah.
so old school and Hardy.
That usually means, yeah, old school is the host, so therefore that'd be the issue.
It's very annoying because he's also the host of this lobby, so it's a bit
yeah, I'm not
unfair.
sure how that will go down if he leaves.
just waiting to see what Larky's also going to say, because I feel like he might say that it could be a restart or just for him to leave and get this straight underway.
I think it may be a good idea to restart this.
Yeah, I feel like we might have a restart. Yeah, it looks like we're having a restart. So,
Yeah.
what I am just going to quickly do is just put it on the intro that was made by, of course, Mr. Relentless Force of Brendan again, and we will be back straight after that is done. So, guys, do bear with us.
Once you win it, and you've got to go all the way to the end.
Lando into the final corner, his first win of the championship. Lando across the line to win in China.
Because you commit yourself to such a level where there is no compromise. You give everything you have.
The strategy paid off. He had one of the best hits I've ever seen on the medium tires. Nick Valdellen wins the Monaco Grand Prix.
Deep in towards the final chicane. Rudy's trying to go for it on the inside. There's still both wheels of order. Banging wheels. Old School's gone well.
Oh my word!
And you need more than anything a very clear mind to understand exactly when is the moment to be aggressive, when is the moment to be calculated.
He spun. Force Brendan's spun.
Oh, wing image. Oh, Brendan's out.
He's out of race. Oh my God, he's out of race.
When you are under a lot of pressure, in a critical moment, in a championship or in a particular race, it's the one that can put together the combination between aggressivity and calculating things that will get the best result.
lobby number 6. In lobby number 5, at the moment, Jabo is the one that is leading. He's on a set of the mediums and still yet to pit, but to everybody's surprise, it was Ivan Mike that was leading. However, it looks as if he's had a crash. Again, very, very surprising. So I think MCR is the one that is currently in the lead of this race. I think him and Energetics actually might have had a bit of a collision. Mike and Energetics, shall I say. So MCR is the one leading in lobby number 5. And Cookie get up lobby number 6. At this present moment, it is Mr. Valter on his return to the League of Europe. He is currently leading on 7-lap old hard tyres that are on lap number 8. I think it was Elowen Tim who's actually pit for a fresh set of hards, so he looks as if he will be the one that could take this win tonight. Depends how a few of the other guys play out, but I noticed him and Alex, or Polezzi Alex, if I said that right, they were of course the ones that were the top 2. But I'm really hoping we're not going to have any more issues in this race. I don't think we will. But yeah, I'm quite intrigued to see how this is going to go. Marcel is now on a set of the hards, and he is actually back in the lobby. I know the AI's picked mediums for him, so he is really allowed to change it because he didn't choose his tyres originally. So Marcel is now on a set of the hards at the back of the grid with his teammate of Ariel Nolan. Yeah, I mean, now that has happened, are we going to say someone else maybe in this top 3 now?
It definitely gives the light of, say Cortez, Packer, TDB maybe. We'll have to see who's really the quickest out of the soft runners. A bigger chance. But I'm going to say that with this, I still think Dylan will win. I think Kilby will be second, but I'm going to say Larkin for third.
I'm going to say Dylan will get third. I know I said before that he's usually at the front or at the back, but I feel like he may be towards that front, and I think he will probably end up finishing in that 3rd position. Yeah, I feel like Cortez and Killer Blue just behind him. It depends who's obviously going to get a better start, but I feel like those two, when it comes to race pace or race consistency, are just that little bit more consistent than what Dylan is. So I'm sure Dylan probably won't mind me saying that. So yeah, I reckon it'll be. I reckon Cortez and Killer Blue will come down to those two fighting for that lead. Arcolo, I know he probably won't mind me saying it, that he usually is wrong for quali, but we are just getting these 4 and 5 red lights out now for pre-season race number 1, and it is lights out, and away we go. Dylan getting an absolute monster start off of Arcolo, already up into the lead of the race, and it looks like Larkin at the back of the grid did not have a start whatsoever. He's already down into 18th position. But yeah, Dylan, amazing start from him. Cortez already passed Killer Blue as well, up into 3rd position. Killer did not have a good start. TDB and Packer both going side by side as well. And I believe TDB is the one that comes out on top of that, going around the outside of turn number 2. So very good move from the Dutchman. Now going down the inside of Killer Blue, possibly his XL compadre. Does not get that move done, and Packer goes straight back around the outside. TDB trying to take a bit of a tighter line, and that has not worked out in his favour. Doom now maybe looking to try and attack the Dutchman, but I think he's just going to have to stay behind him for now. Nolan and Hardy both going at it down in P13 and P number 14. And I believe it looks like Hardy is the one that's come out on top of that one. It does look as if he has indeed. So the XL driver now up in the 13th. Nolan though and Marcel both having a very, very good start of the race. But Dylan, as I said, an absolute monstrous start from him. And he is already 7 tenths up ahead of Arcolo.
Yeah, he was absolutely out of the gates on that start. And as I see Cortez just having a little wobble on the exit of 13 is definitely, especially with higher fuel, it's a difficult corner to get right. But yeah, he's 7.5 tenths clear, Dylan, and the rest is just stacking up behind Arcolo at the moment. Rudy's got a good start up into P9 he is. So that's a very good start, especially on the mediums. So we'll see if he can progress any further coming when the softs will wear off a bit more.
Certainly will. Packer just going very wide coming out of the final turn. I don't think TDB is going to be too happy about that one. But Dylan leads at the end of lap number 1 from Arcolo, Cortez, Packer, TDB, and then Joom. As timings have decided they want to mess up everywhere, but Joom is the one that is sitting in 6th position, not in 3rd at this present moment. There are yellows in sector 1, and that is VSR Brett out of the race at, oh well, in fact that was at the exit of turn 1. Never seen that before there.
Well placed.
Oh, and I think, who was that? That was TDB as well. Sorry to cut you in there, but yeah, TDB having a massive bit of oversteer. Doom now trying to look and go for a move. Oh, and he touches that inside curb and has a massive wobble as well. TDB, you can see that red light flashing already on the back of his car.
I'm not sure what that's about, to be honest. As Kumblai already gets a penalty, it's very early. We're only on lap 2, though it says lap 3 in the top right, ignore that. As the timing is still back glitch, should resolve itself in the next couple of laps. Yeah, one big train still, a couple wobbled here and there, maybe a bit of nervousness. But still, the majority of the drivers in one piece.
Certainly are. Rooney trying to maybe come up to the back of Kumblai on lap number 2. Kumblai, as you said already, has a 3-second time penalty just from 2 laps alone, so I'm intrigued to see how these penalties are normally going to pick up. Usually it's Doom, as Kumblai is actually already into the pits, so I wonder if he's picked himself up any damage and as a result has got on that penalty because of it. The timings are even more glitched now because apparently Arcolo is about a lap behind Dylan of 1 minute and 34 seconds. Kumblai already coming into the pits on lap 2 and already retiring from the session. It's not what we want to see because we want to try and gauge what people's pace are on this game, and it's not going to help just by retiring from the session. So yeah, unfortunate to see, but Kumblai now out of the session. Larkin still down in 16th position, maybe trying to go for a move on Brock down for that 15th position. But yeah, Dylan, a very good start and having a very good lead. Arcolo as well doing a good job of keeping it in second. Cortez, as said, already up into 3rd position, and I believe that relative of him being 7 seconds behind him is correct. So yeah, Cortez doing a very good job. Killer Blue goes around and into the wall goes Killer Blue out of the session as well. So unfortunately for him, we've had 3 retirements in the space of 3 laps. And well, hopefully that's not a trend, because otherwise we're not going to see any drivers past lap 20. So Packer now inherits that P4 and is in the DRS of Cortez. TDB though also keeping tabs with the American, both former teammates in Division 2 last season. Cortez though has no DRS to Arcolo, already out of that DRS from him. Arcolo very close to the back of Dylan, and we might be seeing a change for the lead on this next lap.
Yeah, definitely, and one thing to note as well, the guys in behind, as Cortez is going in already, it's very early to see. Arcolo has a lot of ERS compared to everyone else here. He's on 95%, he's looking towards turn 2, down the inside, can't really get a move done there, so he gets almost into the back of Dylan. Cortez has pitted onto Hart. I don't think there was a front wing change, so it's just a very early stop for him.
Larkin as well has also come in for a set of the hard tyres. I think he might have just been a bit annoyed that he was stuck behind those hard runners. So for Larkin I can understand. For Cortez, I'm very surprised he did come in this early though. Sitting in P3, and well, that's now happened. I mean, he may be trying to go for a massive undercut on both Arcolo and Dylan. As I said, he was out of the DRS from the both of them. So I can understand maybe why he's also going for it. I think it's a bit risky though, come towards the end of the race.
Yeah.
It could possibly look to puncture as TDB goes very, very wide coming out of the double lefts.
Yeah, I don't think, I know the Hearts can last a very, very long time, so I don't think that would be an issue. But I'm just curious, because I don't think at this point in time the softs are really bad enough for Cortez to win a lot. As Dylan's already almost pulled a second here on Arcolo this lap, which is quite impressive to see. TDB is looking at the back of QVR Packer towards turn 14 though. Down the inside he goes, can he complete the move? They're still side by side towards the apex. TDB has the inside and cuts in front of Packer and gets the position done.
Good move from the Dutch driver, although goes very wide coming out of the final corner. Packer's now going to have the advantage once again, and he'll have that DRS. TDB don't think there's anything that he can do in regards to that one. June might even try and eye up a move on the Dutchman. It doesn't look as if he was, as Larkin has gone round at the fast right hand, and Arcolo's gone round as well.
Oh my, it's 2 spins in a very short space of time. Larkin definitely does have damage. I don't think Arcolo has, it just spun. But definitely a setback for the German in.
Wow, I think Dylan's having an absolute field day up at that top spot at the moment. It is a Williams 1-2. Never thought I'd be seeing that in, well, I never thought I'd be seeing that for a very long time. But yeah, Dylan up in first, Packer in second, TDB in third, and June right behind these guys as well. TDB, of course, about 50% ERS, so he's used a little bit of it. Same with Packer, both relatively even, but Doom keeping at a nice 85%, looking to maybe try and pounce on, well, if one of these two up in front of him make a bit of a mistake. But Rudy already up into 5th position on those set of mediums. So Rudy is in a prime spot towards the end of this race. Well, he's of course going to be on much fresher hard tyres when these guys do all come in. But Dylan, 2.8 seconds up ahead of Packer in the space of 5 laps. That's quick.
It does help us. Obrok is going for a move onto Marcel for P11 currently. Then the inside seems to force Marcel a bit wide. It's a bit of contact as Dylan's in the pits as well. It does, I want to say, it does help that Cortez pitted, Killer obviously spun as well, and Arcole as well. So it's definitely has created a bit of a gap for Dylan to get out of, essentially. But he's now into the pits, and let's see where he comes out compared to Cortez. Cortez has just come around the final corner, across the line. See if Cortez has won anything. I don't really think so. He was just ahead of Packer, obviously, so that gap should be about 2.2 seconds it has been. He's not really gained anything.
If anything, he looks like he's actually lost time to Dylan. I think Dylan, as I said, I know he was driving right at the front as well, and with Cortez being stuck a little bit behind Arcolo, I feel like Dylan's actually gotten more away from Cortez, which is very interesting. So the undercut for Portuguese just did not work for him, as there are yellow flags. That is, I think, is Rudy. That Rudy?
Yep, it's Rudy.
Oh dear, oh dear. I was giving him compliments saying that he was the highest medium runner, and unfortunately it's now backfired and now down into 11th place. It doesn't look as if he's lost any front wing or anything like that, but I don't know if he's lost anything on the floor or on the side. But in this present moment, TDB going for a move on Packer for what is the race lead at this present moment. A Dutchman going down the inside in the hairpin. Packer's still trying to hold it around there, but TDB just cuts him off, and that is now the race lead for TDB. Of course, these guys will all still need to make a pit stop, and I feel like they're all coming in now. In fact, TDB does, Packer doesn't. Goes massive oversteer on the final corner. Doom, well, I think Packer was a bit lucky because Doom also did the same thing, literally followed followed Packer. So Doom does remain in that 2nd place, but this is what I'm interested to see, where TDB is going to come out in relation to Dylan. Dylan is just coming around the final corner as Arcolo's also come into the pits. Dylan now coming up towards turn number 1, and there he goes. So Dylan, a massive gap on TDB. Arcolo as well. Oh, in fact, Cortez has jumped up ahead of TDB. I think this was the order it was before, but TDB is a lot closer than what he was before, since Cortez made that early pit stop. So that undercut for the Portuguese has not helped him at all, and in fact he's lost more time to Dylan.
He definitely has, and especially on the outlap after, he's now 3.6 behind where he was 2.5 or something around that before. And TDB now on the back, TDB is basically in the same distance of Cortez as he was of Packer, as Hardy I think is round out of turn 10.
Another one bites the dust from the double left-hand as Hardy now down into 8th position behind O'Brock. But this battle for the lead is about to go down as Doom, DRS now wide open for the Spaniard. Packer trying to use this overtake as well. He's only got 10% ERS left, and Doom can see that. Straight around the outside is what the Spaniard's going to go. Packer's going to try and hold it down this inside though, and Doom is going to go for a bit of a switchback. They're both probably going to make their way into the pits this lap as well. So it's whoever's going to come out on top of this pits. In fact, Doom stays out, Packer into the pits. So it was a risky move from Packer. He did this last season as well. It's quite a naughty one, but yeah, Packer into the pits, and well, we'll see where he comes out in relation to the likes of TDB to Cortez, because that's who he was battling with. But Doom will stay out in the lead of this race as Rudy is out of the race. Final corner has claimed another victim, and Rudy, he did this in qualifying, and he's now done it in the race. Unfortunately for the Dutchman, he is now out of the race, and that is the 4th retirement in 8 laps in Lobby 2.
Not great to see, obviously. Just to note, Packer has gone out onto the mediums.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
So TDB onto the back of Cortez as well. He's looking to run the outside of turn 6. Is he going for the switchback? Can he make that stick? He has a good exit there. Uses a bit of overtake. Can he get it stuck around the outside? No, he can't. Cortez seems to just dictate the line there. and keeps ahead of the Repo.
Yeah, very good battling between the XL and the QVR boys. Keeping it nice and clean. Cortez, though, one that comes out on top. However, he isn't going to have any DRS and TDB. Well, he's got about 50% ERS to play with, so I feel like he might get the move done on this long straight. And I wonder if Packer will follow suit. And yeah, Marcel, very, very unfortunate for him. Round at the fast right-hander where Larkin had also dropped it, and now we're going to see this battle. TDB goes very wide at the exit of the fast right-hander, but here we go. DRS now wide open for the Dutchman. Rudy has just left the session. Cortez goes defensive on the inside. TDB though cuts it straight down the inside, breaks at the 100 meter board and keeps that inside line off of the Portuguese. A very good move from the Dutchman, and yeah, Cortez, unfortunately for him, I don't think he was expecting TDB to go down that inside, but he's done it, and TDB now up into P8. Cortez though will have that DRS. Is he going to try and reclaim this position from the Dutchman? He's going to go straight down the inside into turn 1, and yet that's already moved back done. And TDB, unfortunately for him, well, what a nice move it was. He's trying to maybe go back down the inside into turn number 1 on the Portuguese. They're still both side by side, and Cortez holds that one. TDB trying to go for a switchback though into turn number 2. He's going to have that inside, a bit of contact, and that's TDB into the grass. Packer now trying to go for this move. They're both on, oh, he's on a set of the medium tyres, goes down the inside of the turn 5 kink, and Packer's now up into P8. Good battling from the both of them, but just unfortunate TDB, I think, had a bit of understeer. Oh, sorry, yeah, bit of understeer, and went straight into the side of Cortez.
Yeah, and to note, Joom has gone on to the mediums as well, so I wonder what these guys are going to do strategy-wise. You would expect to do stuff as Cortez is picking up a penalty now, and the exit of turn 10. Yeah, it's interesting what these two are going to do.
Very, very interesting. Packer, I feel like, might try and go for a move on Cortez coming through, or coming on this DRS straight. Cortez has a little bit of a wobble though coming out of it, so that's going to give Packer the advantage. DRS is now going to be open for the American, and I don't think Cortez is going to try and put too much of a fight up, because yeah, already getting that move done. And we maybe see TDB go for a move as well. He's a little bit too far back, and same with Joom. So in fact, TDB goes into neutral, not exactly what you want to do, as there are more yellow flags. I think that was Nolan having a bit of a wobble at the final corner.
Yeah, it's a very vital corner, as Packer has picked up a penalty as well. As I see Hardy just going completely wide out of turn 1, that took me by surprise quite a bit. But yeah, the final corner is very difficult to get right. It's a yellow curb on the inside that is very lethal, you could say. So you either have to basically place your car on top of it and make the tyres not hit it, or go all the way around it and just take the time loss there.
Certainly do. Apparently TDB has just set the fastest sector 1, despite being right behind a Portuguese or Cortez. Of course, both Cortez and Packer now having those 3-second time penalties. It's going to give advantage of both TDB and Joom. Old School about 5 seconds behind all of these guys as well. If he can maybe try and do a little bit of a catch up on them, but I don't feel like that undercut from him as well has worked. I think he pit a lap later than Cortez. I think on the same, in fact no, he was the only one that actually pit on that lap, as I believe it was Larkin that pit on the same lap as Cortez. But it just hasn't worked out for the guys that pit on lap number 4, I think it was. So
it's even 3, I think.
Yeah, 3 or 4. It was one of those two, as Hardy has gotten that move back done on Nolan as well. Nolan, though, maybe trying to go for a bit of a switchback going through the hairpin, but Hardy looks as if he's just gotten his car ahead enough to stay up ahead of the AlphaTauri driver. And now Hardy's going to have to do a bit of a defensive maneuver from Nolan. He's barely got any ERS to his name, as Cortez going round at the hairpin. Another one has been claimed by that hairpin as well. That's 2 people now, I believe, that has spun at that hairpin. And unfortunately for them, well, they're now out of the session. Old School all over the back of Arcolo. Went a little bit wide out of the final corner, but he's got that DRS to his name. And Arcolo, I feel like he might be, he's going to suffer from the wrath of the D3 champion. Arcolo going very deep, very deep, sorry, at the exit of turn 1. But Mark just not close enough to get any sort of move done on the German, and just has to stay behind him for now. But, wow. But I was very shocked to see that Cortez is now out of this session. And now Joom's actually gotten past TDB. I didn't actually manage to catch that, but Joom's now a bit more of an advantage, because he's now going to be back behind Packer. If he gets that move done, Joom is essentially in a net second position.
And obviously with the penalty of Packer, he is basically already in the net seconds. And his pace is looking quite good as well with mediums.
Certainly are. There certainly are. Dylan's now up to the back of the train of all of these guys that have yet to pit. And of course, Nolan being the first one here, both on the hard set of tyres, but Dylan, DRS for him. There's nothing really that Nolan can do. And yeah, Dylan already now passed up into 5th position. He's now got another XL compadre up in front of him of Hardy. But yeah, I'm assuming we may start to see these medium runners maybe make a pit stop very, very soon. We are, of course, on lap number 12. So yeah, I will be surprised if we don't see any of these medium runners maybe make a pit stop in the next 3 to 4 or 2 to 3 laps, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely. Thus being Hardy and Assassin, as Joom has set the fastest lap of the race and is now on to the back of Packer, 4 tenths, 5 tenths behind. He is looking quite quick here and maybe even matching the likes of Dylan.
He certainly is 3 seconds behind, or sorry, 4 seconds behind Dylan now. Dylan he's absolutely running over this race. I would like to apologise to Dylan for what I said at the beginning, because I said he's either at the front or at the back. I'd say that Cortez and Killer were a bit more consistent. Well, both Cortez and Killer are out of this race, and Dylan is the one that is technically leading it. So yeah, Dylan, he's put on an absolute show in Lobby 2, and he's all over now the back of XL Hardy, and he will have that DRS going as soon as he comes around that long sweeping right-hander.
Joom is red.
Oh, Joom's gone round and the double left-hander, and his front wing's completely gone.
Yeah, I was just about on board with him, and he just hit the inside curb at turn 10, the second of the double left, and yeah, just completely lost control of his car.
And I'm sure Packer is going to be absolutely laughing at that one, because now TDB is 2.4 seconds behind him, and he's on a fresher and a softer compounder tyre than TDB. The only problem for Packer is when it comes towards the end of this race, those tyres are going to suffer, and those hards will be a lot better. So he needs to get a bit of a move on, as now Dylan going down the inside of Hardy in towards turn 1. Hardy not going to try and fight that one too hard, and Dylan now up into 4th, was still a net first, but is up ahead of Hardy and up ahead of Nolan, as Packer can't seem to find a move on Nolan either. So Nolan just holding up the Williams of Packer, and I wonder if we're going to see maybe Packer go for a bit of a move going in towards turn number 6, as he is trying to use his overtake and get something done on Nolan. He's running out of ERS, but yeah, he's already going for that move. Nolan, he's not left him that space, or in fact he has left him ever so slightly amount of space. He knew that he was going to try it, and Nolan does remain out in front, and this is going to cost Packer a lot of time. Now 4.2 seconds behind Dylan, and that time is just going to keep on dropping. Nolan just keeping it parked on that sweeping right-hander. I thought we might have seen Packer try to go for a bit of a switchback, but no, he is not going to be able to get that move done, and Packer, he's just going to have to stay behind Nolan until he gets that DRS straight once again. Unfortunately for Packer, it's now going to cost him a significant amount of time, to the point where he's now about 5 seconds behind Dylan.
Yeah, he's already lost a second compared to TDB, and you can see here the pace of Nolan is not the same as of Packer, but obviously on this straight he should get by quite easily. Although he doesn't have a lot of ERS, the DRS will do it for him, and finally he's up into P6.
But you can see from Nolan's point of view, that red flashing light on the back of Packer's car, Nolan might actually try and go for a move once again back in towards turn 1. Assassin, the first one on the set of the mediums to make their way into the pits, and Hardy is also following them. So those two guys, I think, were the only ones that were on a set of the mediums that hadn't pit. They are now, of course, into the pits. Joom has also come out and emerged in P13 on a set of the hard tyres after having that spin at the double left. So I wonder where these two are actually going to come out in relation to everybody else. Assassin just making his way out of the pits now, and he's quite significantly up ahead of Larkin, but he's not too far behind Old School. He's about 5 seconds down the road, or 3 seconds down the road, shall I say, sorry, is what the game says. Yeah, 3 seconds down the road from Division 3's champion of last season. So I wonder if we're going to see Assassin, especially on 8-lap younger tyres, if he's maybe going to make a bit of a catch-up game on Old School, and we may see Old School in a bit of a battle with these guys so very, very soon.
Yeah, we could definitely see that. Obviously, there's a big advantage for Assassin, and maybe in the later stages for Hardy as well. So we'll see about those guys. Meanwhile, TDB is now into the back of Nolan. He's not got past easy either.
No, he certainly hasn't. And TDB, I've just saw as well, going through that sweeping right-hander, it just went a little bit too much. I think he must have had a bit of oversteer, because he's now he went into the grass ever so slightly. According to Carmentis, Nolan has a bit of damage after he had his little moment at the final corner. TDB though trying to go down the inside of Nolan. Touches the grass ever so slightly, but Nolan, I'm surprised he tried to fight that one, because now TDB has already gone past, and that's just going to cost Nolan even more time just by trying to fight that. I know he has damage, but it's just not really going to help him at all, especially when he makes his pit stop. But Packer runs very, very deep in towards that final corner as there are more yellows, and that is June once again at the same spot. The double left-handers, the Spaniard not having a good day whatsoever, and he's just slammed into the wall as well at the exit of that. Old School picks himself up a 3-second time penalty, and Nolan into the pits for a fresh set of mediums, and to probably change that front wing of his that is damaged that he got from the final corner.
Yeah, he definitely is changing his front wing, and he'll be quick on those mediums. So let's see if he can resolve something from this race. He'll be close to his AlphaTauri teammate for the time being, Marcel actually. If I say close, that is very close. Marcel just hangs around the outside, but Nolan obviously with 5 lap fresher mediums and a fresh new front wing, he'll be quite quick, I reckon.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Marcel makes a massive massive mistake as well, and there you go, Nolan going around the outside of Marcel at the turn 5 kink, and Doom out of the session as well at the final corner. Yet another person falling to that final corner. It just wasn't going well for Doom anyway, and I think he's probably happy that he's now out of this race as opposed to actually being able to carry on racing it. But Slash still leads the way at the moment. 14 lap Old Hards now on lap number 15, about to go on to lap number 16. And I'm assuming we may see him and Brock maybe make their pit stops very, very soon, especially if we've seen Nolan just make his way into the pits. I know he had damage, but I would have said this is around the time where we'd see these hard runners maybe make their way into the pits, maybe between now and lap 18 or 19, I would say.
Yeah, definitely very soon, I would assume, unless they want to stretch these hards and go into the softs at the end, which I wouldn't say is quicker, but with the field being quite spread out, it may help them cut through a bit more.
Yeah, no, it certainly would be. It certainly would be indeed. But Dylan is the one that is still technically in the net lead of the race. Has not put a foot wrong so far in this race. And in fact, he's actually even matching Packer's times. Packer, despite being on a younger and softer compound tyre, where they may start to die out ever so slightly soon, he's still 4.8 seconds behind his teammate. So Dylan doing an absolute stellar job at the moment. And well, I wonder if we may be seeing Dylan in Lobby 1 next week, as Packer picks up another 3 seconds.
Yep. 6 seconds to his name now. Obviously seems to struggle to keep it on the track. But yeah, Dylan's pace is looking very good. Now I know he likes this track quite a bit. At least is very quick at it. So we'll have to see if he's going to be in Lobby 1 or not. But that is a case for another day.
Yep.
Yeah, in the meantime, a bit spread out. Slash and Overrock, are they going to come into the pit? Slash is. Overrock is staying out for at least one more lap. So let's see which Slash will come out. If I have a look, I think he'll be around Arcolo or Old School.
Yeah, no, I think he might be just behind Old School, but it'll be between him and Assassin from the looks of things, as Old School's just making his way around the final corner now. Yeah, I think he might slot in just behind Old School. It might be very, very close between these two actually as he comes out of the pits. In fact, he's a lot further than I expected, as that is Hardy that has gone around at the hairpin as well. We're seeing a lot of spinners tonight. I know we see them in lobby 3 and in lobby 4, but I'm really surprised in lobby 2 that we're seeing this many spinners. We've already seen 6 retirements and about 12 spins so far.
I think we might need to open a bet for most spins of the week at this rate, but yeah.
Place your bets, people. Place your bets in the chat.
Yeah, in the meantime, yeah, Slash has come out a second behind Arcolo. At least he is now. I guess it was a bit more at the start of the lap. He could fancy his chances maybe towards the top 3 at least. He's only almost 6 seconds behind TDB. Surely it's assumed he could make that up on fresh mediums compared to fairly worn hards. Obviously the hards don't really wear out, but obviously 9 lap holes, it's not completely fresh either, as Overrock goes into the pit, so I assume he'll be coming out close to his McLaren teammate, I guess. Maybe a bit behind that, towards Assassin. I'll have to see about that. Yeah, Slash could definitely have a chance at the podium here.
He certainly could. He's done very well on that hard stint, and same with O'Brock. But yeah, you can see he's just making his way out of the pits now, and it looks as if he may slot in just behind Assassin, as yeah, Assassin's already overtaken him. So O'Brock on those fresh set of mediums, he's 2 places behind Slash. Oh, 3 places behind Slash, shall I say. But Slash, yeah, I feel like you are right. He's only 4 tenths now behind Arcolo, and then he's got to make up another about 5 seconds onto TDB. 10 laps left to go. With him being on a fresher set of tyres and a softer compound, it's almost inevitable that he's going to catch up to TDB unless he makes a mistake.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously what's going to help him as well is the 6 seconds of penalties that Packer's already picked up. So at the moment, Packer's already like 3.5 seconds behind TDB on a net position. That's
in fact,
only
he's almost behind Arcolo with that as well.
Yeah, he's only a second of Arcolo with that. Obviously, Slash is already onto the back of Arcolo, and I presume we'll see a move down towards turn 14 here. DRS is going to get opened. We'll have to keep an eye on Assassin and O'Brock in behind as well. They're very close together. Slash is going for the move. Arcolo is defending. Slash towards the outside of the hairpin. Can he make this one stick? Arcolo tries to defend, but Slash just has much more grip on those mediums and seems to get this one done. O'Brock, has he got the one done on Assassin? It does look like that quite easily. So Arcolo able to get back at Slash. I highly doubt it, but he's going to have a go. Overtake is completely on. And he has a look towards turn 1, but doesn't seem to be able to get it through down the inside. He has a look. It is possible to overtake towards the second part of this corner, but this time out I don't think Arcolo is capable of doing that. And Slash is, I presume he's going to just drive away and try and catch TDB now.
Well, you can already see he was about 5 seconds behind on the last lap. He's now already 4 seconds behind. So in one lap, he's caught up in a second. So, as I said, at this point, it is inevitable that he's going to be catching TDB. It's just the point of when he's going to be catching him. And at the same time, he's almost within those 6 seconds of Packer already. He's about 6.1 on the cusp of that from Packer. So, really, I think Packer's really just hoping that Slash picks himself up a penalty, or hopes that both him and TDB pick up a penalty. But at this present moment, Slash is on a mission to chase down that Red Bull.
In the meantime, O'Brock is onto the back of Old School as well, and I presume we'll not see much of a fight here. O'Brock already onto the back as Hardy has spun through turn 7. I don't think he has damage, but let's get back to the McLarens, as O'Brock is now lining up a move towards Old School, and he has much more ERS, so should be able to get by quite easily. He's not even using the ERS right now. Goes towards the outside of Old School, and Old School can't really defend, slots it in behind. O'Brock gets a bit deep, but gets the better exit as well, and he is through.
Yeah, for some reason it looked a little bit harder for O'Brock to do that move than it actually should have been. It looked as if he went a bit too deep into that hairpin, as you said, but still got the move done nonetheless, and just uses his ERS a little bit just to defend from Old School, just to make sure that he knows he is not getting past him. But yeah, Brock now up into 6th position. Good move from him. He's about 6.5 seconds now behind Arcolo. Again, it's another one that you could see that could charge up to the back of him and also try and catch him up to maybe even swipe that P5, possibly even P4 if Packer's tyres do end up dying towards the end of the race, because you got to remember, he's on the mediums, he's been on them for 11 laps, and realistically these mediums only really last about 14 laps.
I do think they can last a little bit longer. I think he'll make it to the end, but we'll have to see. I think he'll be close to puncture territory. But yeah, O'Brock, looking at the gap towards Arcolo, it's 6.2 seconds in 8.5 laps. That's definitely not impossible.
Certainly isn't. I wonder if we will see him make that charge up to the back of the German driver. Arcolo, he's now out of the RS from Slash as well, so the only thing that was maybe helping him to try and get away from O'Brock, well, that's now gone. So Slash 2.4 seconds now behind TDB as well. I said he's catching him almost a second a lap. Although a massive oversteer for the British driver in the Haas, Slash though, he's going to make he's going to try his best to catch up. He's going to do very well to do so as well. TDB, I think it's more or less inevitable that he's also gotten past Packer. Doesn't have to do it on track, but it looks as if he's already catching him up. And I think Packer's tyres might already start to be losing their grip, because he's now dropped back 6.1 seconds behind Dylan, and TDB is starting to catch up to him ever so slightly.
Yeah, definitely, and we're gonna notice TDB's pace is quite quick here as well. Obviously Dylan's been out in front, but over the last couple laps, TDB has not lost a lot of time to Dylan, who looks to be absolutely dominating here. So definitely credits to the Red Bull driver as well.
Certainly are. Slash still 2.4 seconds. So as you're saying, yeah, I mean, if he is matching around Dylan's times, realistically, Slash, he should be catching up to him, but he's not. He's remaining at about 2.4, 2.5 behind TDB, so he's doing a very good job of that. And in fact, Arcolo is almost back in his DRS. In fact, he is.
He definitely, yeah, he is. This is quite odd to see. Slash does have some ERS left. There's some low banks going out behind. I don't know what that is. Apologies if you can hear that. Yeah, Arcolo is still the DRS of Slash, which is interesting to see.
It is very interesting. I'm quite surprised he's managed to get himself back in the DRS, and Slash has a massive oversteer moment again at that hairpin. It just doesn't look as if he's been taking that hairpin properly, and now, well, as a result of it, Arcolo is now all over the back of him again. 7 tenths behind him on 14 lap old hards compared to Slash's 4 lap old hards. He's still catching up to TDB, but Arcolo just seems to be putting out the hammer on it. Yeah, Slash goes round.
That must have been the turn 1 curb that he may have clipped and spun off of. That's going to put Oberon quite close in. It's a shame to see for Slash, because he was on a mission there, but looked to stall a bit and seems a bit off. I'm going to get my mic out if you don't mind.
Yeah, no, that's fine, no problem. But yeah, I don't know what had happened with Slash then, because I mean, yeah, it must have been that turn 1 curb, but I mean, he was doing a very good job. He didn't put a foot wrong at all in this race so far, and now he's done that. It's now put him out of that 6-second window of Packer. He's about 8 seconds now behind him. He can still make up about another 2 seconds, and then he'd be okay. Or about 3 seconds actually, and then he'd be okay. But now in 6 laps, and now with that slide, that's going to put that wear on his tyres, and that's now going to give him a bit more of a disadvantage. Arcolo was doing very well staying behind him, and he's even catching up to TDB himself. In fact, yeah, 1.8 seconds, yeah. Yeah, it definitely looks like it, and TDB seems to have lost some pace as well. He's not catching Packer anymore, and losing time to Dylan as well. And Arcolo seems to be the one that is matching Dylan right now, so it goes a bit back and forth, but one thing remains consistent, and that's Dylan being very, very consistent on his lap times, on his pace, and looks absolutely dominant here. He certainly does. TDB, by the way, very, very wide on the final corner. I don't know if he's been doing that all race, and if he has, well, that's a bit naughty of him. But yeah, TDB just going very, very wide at the final corner. Arcolo, it means that he's catching up to him ever so slightly, about 1.5 seconds now behind him, as Nolan all over the back of Larkin for that P9 position. And in fact, Nolan going down the inside at the exit of turn 1. Larkin's going to have that inside for turn number 2. But Nolan on a much fresher tyres. We're going to see him maybe try and go for a move on the outside. Larkin has a little bit of oversteer. Luckily, Nolan was just behind him, so it avoided him. But Nolan now straight down the inside and gotten that move done already on Larkin. I thought there was going to be a massive collision coming between the two of them. But, well, fair play to Nolan. He managed to avoid that by millimetres. Yeah, definitely very good response time from Nolan there. And match full of great respect to see between the two drivers here. Yeah, Nolan up into P9, and his pace since he's pitted for the mediums seems quite quick as well. Yeah, he has seemed a lot better on these medium tyres compared to when he was on those hards. I mean, he's already almost gotten a second out from Larkin. Larkin, of course, will have that DRS on him, but I feel like Nolan's already gotten that much of a gap. That doesn't really matter. Plus, obviously, being on the 7 lap old mediums compared to 18 lap old hards, I feel like Nolan's probably already gotten this done ahead of Larkin. Although saying that, he looks a lot quicker in a straight line.
Yeah, definitely. But Larkin obviously got helped by the DRS as well there. As he doesn't get the greatest run through the last corner either. But Nolan is essentially out of ERS as well. So that may as well help the factor that Nolan wasn't that quick in the straight line. Meanwhile, TDB is on 1.1 seconds off Packer here. And is looking to can him in on track as well.
So the two ex-teammates from Division 2 last season, TDB almost in DRS range of Packer. As I said, these tyres are definitely now starting to die out for the American. And now TDB is going to be on a bit of a charge to try and get this move done on him. 7.7 seconds now separates him and Dylan. And that time is only going up more and more. TDB didn't get DRS off of Packer on this lap. However, the next lap, I feel we may see that he will have DRS, and I wonder if we're going to see Arcola maybe try and close back up as well. Slash is on the cusp once again of that, as Hardy has just gone round at the exit of turn number 6, but I wonder if we're going to see Slash maybe pit Packer as well with those penalties that Packer has got to his name.
It could happen, definitely. The gap currently, well, it's almost 8 seconds. But if those mediums really fall for Packer, then it's definitely possible for Slash to get into the range of Packer.
Certainly will, certainly will. There's more yellow flags again. Hardy at the double left-handers, not going well at all for the XL driver. But one XL driver has a bit of a bad day. The other one has a very good day. Dylan, we haven't talked about him much this year in this race since the beginning, but 8 seconds up ahead of Packer, and he, like you said, he's just driven fantastically so far this race, and all the props really go to him at this point. 8.1 seconds now, and that gap is just growing. It is just growing constantly. I don't think anyone's put a fault with that at all. And I'd be very intrigued to see how he would do in that first lobby, especially at this track, or even in next week at Abu Dhabi, because I know that's also a favourite of Dylan's.
Yeah, we'll have to see if he gets placed in there. That will get announced later, obviously. TDB now in the DRS of Packer. 3 laps to go. You can count them in, and obviously if, say, Packer and TDB starts a battle, Arcola is just here to pick up the pieces as well.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, he's definitely going to get the jump on Packer anyway, so that's not really going to matter for him. But yeah, Arcola, he's just remaining behind him for now. He's still at a nice gap. He's not losing any time to TDB and Packer, even though TDB has DRS. He's not losing any time to him. He's still just remaining with him. As Hardy once again going off at the long left. The exit of the left of turn number 7. So Hardy, as I said, he's not having a good race whatsoever. But TDB, look how close he is now to the back of Packer. I wonder, are we going to see even a move in towards turn number 6? No, we are not. Packer, he's just going to stay up ahead of him at this moment. But TDB, you can see he's wanting to maybe go for a move very, very soon. If it's not on this lap, he will definitely go for it on the next lap. 2 more laps left to go after this. And well, Larkin all over the back of Nolan once again. But these mediums for Packer are completely dead for him. Yeah,
they don't see him in a very good condition. He's completely dropping off the face of the earth now, and TDB is basically pushing him through the corners down towards 13, and this can't be an easy corner for those tyres as well, although Packer does seem to get a decent job of an exit, but 5/10 I don't think will be enough for him to defend, although TDB doesn't seem to be deploying his ERS just yet. The ERS is going on, he has a bit of a look, but just decides to stay behind. Might be a move up towards turn 1 though. TDB, if he can get the exit out of the final corner, let's see. Both avoid the curb quite a bit. He's fairly close, 3/10 behind. Here comes TDB onto the back of QVR. Packer goes towards the outside of turn 1. Can he make the stick? Packer still up the inside. Holds it, has the title line, so might be an advantage there. Cuts in front of TDB and keeps second place on track for now. TDB, can he get the exit of turn 3 and 4 though? Has a bit of a slide, so does Packer. ERS is on for TDB now towards turn 5 and 6. Is he capable of getting anything done? Packer defends in the middle of the track and keeps the heads. Very well defended.
Yeah, very well defended indeed from Packer. TDB though, he's now, like you said, he is pushing him through these corners. Packer's tyres are, they are completely gone. Like, honestly, I won't be surprised if they're just going to get shot by a sniper ever so soon. But yeah, TDB all over the back of him. Arcolo now starting to catch up. He was about 1.8 on the last lap. It's now 1.1. And even more so, Slash is back within those 6 seconds of Packer's time penalties. Packer, I think going on those mediums may have been a bit of a wrong call for him. He had to try it, but at the same time, he's not going to be losing 1 or 2 places. It's going down 3 places. And you can see that red light flashing on the back, but not only that, TDB has also not got that much ERS. Packer just seems to get a much better exit coming out of the long sweeping right-hander as he maybe try to go for a fake down the inside and towards the hairpin. TDB tries to force that move on Packer, but Packer keeps it around the outside. And now that's allowed Arcolo to get himself in that DRS. We're now going on to the final lap of the race, and Packer now gets another 3-second time penalty. And that is now just solidified the fact he is going to be finishing P5. I don't think O'Brock's going to be close enough, but TDB, he's just going to sit behind him and just make sure Arcolo cannot get past him. And, well, TDB, he's done exceptional just to stay behind him. Packer, very, very unfortunate for him, because now he's going to be dropping back so much just from these time penalties alone. If he had no penalties, then this would be a very, very cracking battle for second place, as I thought TDB was maybe going to try and go for it down the inside in towards turn number 6. But well, whilst we still keep on board with this battle, as it's still going on, very close to team second down into 4th. I was going to go on board with Dylan, but I can't take this eyes off in this battle, because this is so close, literally on the edge of your seat for this one, as we may see a move from TDB and even from Arcolo on this long straight. I thought TDB might have even tried to go for it in towards this final part now, but unfortunately he doesn't. Nolan going around at turn number 6, but now we're going to be seeing this. Are we going to be seeing Packer lose not 1 but 2 positions just from this straight alone? They're all going to have their ERS on. We're going to see TDB and we're going to see Arcolo with their DRS is activated. Packer just weaving side to side to make sure he does not get any slipstream from any of these guys. But here we go, TDB now using up all that ERS, going down the inside in towards the hairpin. Arcolo, is he also going to try and go for the inside? No, he is not. Packer is going to be losing that position, but here we go, Arcolo trying to go around the outside. Dylan has crossed the line, unfortunately I missed it, but Arcolo trying to go around the outside of TDB in towards the final corner, trying to force him out, and he has forced him out. Has Arcolo actually gotten the jump on TDB? No, he has not, and Arcolo stays behind TDB, and TDB keeps that second position. Wow, what a battle at the end of that. I did unfortunately miss Dylan crossing the line to take that win, but what a battle that was at the end of that race.
Yeah, definitely. I think what happened was TDB and Packer alongside in the hairpin, and they tangled up a little bit, caused Arcolo to get a very good exit, and he got past Packer immediately and tried to hang it around the outside of TDB, but too wide in that final corner, just doesn't really go. Had to go out wide, and TDB keeps the position.
What a final lap from second down to 4th. So close in all of that. It was unfortunate that Packer had those penalties and we knew that was just going to play into, of course, Arcolo and TDB's hands. But what a battle from those two at the end as well. Slash does inherit that 4th position though from Packer in 5th from having those 9 seconds of penalties. Brock does end up finishing in 6th with Assassin in 7th. Old School in 8th, Larkin in 9th, Marcel in 10th, Nolan in 11th, and Hardy in 12th. And, well, that's all she wrote for the pre-season race number 1 of 2. And Slash taking the driver of the day. I would say I'm not surprised, but I feel like Dylan fully deserves it.
Yeah, Dylan definitely deserves it. He's driven fantastically today, and this is looking very promising pace-wise for him.
100%. So congratulations to Dylan for taking the win in pre-season race number 1. Congratulations, of course, to TDB and to Arcolo. Thrilling battle at the end of that, but it was TDB that did come out on top of the German. So, yeah, absolutely insane towards the end of that race. But, as I said, final classifications for the first pre-season race of lobby number 2. Dylan does take it out on top, 11 seconds up ahead of his fellow Dutchman of TDB in 2nd, Arcolo in 3rd, Slash in 4th from 15th on the grid, starting on those hard tyres. As I said, it was a good strategy from him. Packer in 5th, with Brock in 6th, Assassin in 7th, Old School in 8th, Larkin in 9th, Marcel in 10th, Nolan in 11th, Hardy in 12th, and if it was an actual race, he would have picked up that final points position. Jube, unfortunately, DNFing in 13th, but did pick up the fastest lap. Cortez, Rudy, Killer, Kuhn, and Brett also all DNFing from that race as well. Yeah, I mean, I suppose towards the middle, it was a bit of a lull period, but I think we've probably got a pretty good judgment of people's pace just in this race alone, and I'm intrigued to see how it's going to go for Abu Dhabi next week.
Yeah, definitely, and hopefully Daka incrementalist, obviously incrementalist being a bit under the weather, and let's hope he is feeling well soon again.
Yeah.
And able to get back to the Comsport booth here, together with Daka, who should be back from his little holiday. I know he'll be enjoying that. So yeah, hopefully those two are back next week.
Yeah, no, 100%, 100%. But as I said, that's all she wrote for tonight. Thank you to everybody that has tuned in for tonight. Make sure you guys do also check out all of the other streams that we had. We had Lobby 1, obviously this one being Lobby 2, Lobby 3, 4, 5 and 6 also all on the League of Europe channel. Make sure you guys also do tune in for Lobby 1, 3 and 4 next week at 6:30 UK time or British Summer Time, and also Lobby 2, 5 and 6 at 8:10 BST or UK time as well. Other than that, thank you very much for watching, and we will catch you guys next week for pre-season race number 2 around the Yas Marina circuit.